Sindhu. We memorized it on the way back from the program yesterday. And this verse teaches us kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. What is called sadhana is what we use our senses in Krishna's service. And by that, we have the potentiality of nitya siddhasya bhavasya. Within the practice, there's potentiality, and within us, as we know, nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhya kapunoi. We already have the potential. Come in closer, everyone. While you have the opportunity, always sit close. That's what it means, Upanishad. Sit up closer. And so, when we take each day as a one unit, where we have great opportunity to make advancement. If you look at a book like the Adi Lila of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we just finished before we came here, and when we first look at the book, it has 1,600 pages in the whole Adi Lila. We finished half of it so far. And it looks impossible to finish that book because it's too thick. And everyone thinks there's too much philosophy. How am I ever going to finish it? And so how would you finish a book like that? And the answer is one page at a time. And similarly, this lifetime, it seems, what is my possibility of actually reaching the goal? And the answer is, it lies in kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Kriti, using our senses every day for the highest kind of sadhana. And we already discussed last night that it's already vetted that the highest kind of sadhana is to chant Hare Krishna. So we might as well become professionals. There's a book I read recently called The War of Art. Not the art of war, the war of art. Which is that every endeavor we take up has a sense of resistance to it with a capital R. We want to do it. We want to make something of ourselves. We want to be creative. We want to do whatever we want to do, but then there's a resistance to it. So the author, who's an accomplished author, he says in writing, the way to overcome this resistance is to become a professional. Professional means you don't dabble in writing. You sit down, you set the clock, and you write for the prescribed amount of time that you've set for yourself. And so the way to perform sadhana bhakti is to become a professional. I know a few professionals, they always show up, they're always on time, they always do their sadhana, they always finish everything. Because they decided already that they're going to complete every day their sadhana. So this is important to make that internal choice. Krishna's almost too kind, because in the Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't come in as God and say, you have to do this. He says, all right, this is how it all works. I recommend you do this. Please do it, but up to you. And so the love part of it comes when we decide to become a professional. We say, Krishna recommends it, I'm going to do it. Even though he doesn't force me to, I create my own future. So I've decided that the best future comes from doing bhakti sadhana. I've studied the matter, and I've decided that's what I'm going to do, come hell or high water. So congratulations to everyone who's here and all those who are thinking about coming here. And I'd start off today with another very important core teaching that Prabhupada has given us about Japa and chanting Hare Krishna. So yesterday, does anybody remember the two words that epitomize his teaching? Yes? That is correct. Forced meditation. Here's the teaching for today that we can take with us. Srila Prabhupada writes in 1969, June 16th, regarding your last question about the ecstatic symptoms of chanting Hare Krishna, you should know that the Hare Krishna mantra has an equal effect upon all devotees. Just like the sunshine has an equal effect on everyone But when it is covered, the sunshine has a different effect. Similarly, the influence of the Hare Krishna mantra becomes manifest when one is no longer covered by the 10 offenses to chanting. The more we become free from the 10 offenses, the more the effect of chanting becomes manifested through us. Everyone can become a great devotee, being freed from the offenses 100%, simply by one's determination and effort. What's the last line? Simply by... So this comes down to us. We have to muster this sense that if it's to be, it's up to me. I have to do this every day. This is what it means to become a professional. I'm not dabbling. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't do it some days. But if you decide, kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya, my full potentiality lies in this sadhana, and I'll do it no matter what else happens. And that's determination and effort, and we have to make it. The holy name has extended himself to us like if we're at the bottom of a well, and a rope, somebody kindly lowers a rope, and then we say, could you make it go around my hand and pull me up? Nope, you've got to grab it. That's the part that actually shows our goodwill and our determination and effort to take advantage of Krishna's kindness to extend himself in the holy name. So the practical teachings that go along with Prabhupada's quote for today, for make Japa great again, because you don't have to become a great devotee, you should just try to become a good devotee, but to do that you have to have great Japa. And we'll talk about some key points, and one of them is something Prabhupada talks about, flying solo. When you learn to fly, at some point you have to make your solo flight. No instructor there, it's all you. And you'll have to do that to pass your test. So just remember that it's your determination, your effort, and you have to fly solo at some time, so practice now. So when you have your solo flight and there's nobody else there, it's you and the holy name, and you're able to remember how throughout your life you fully embraced and grabbed onto the rope, fully embraced the holy name and grabbed onto the rope. What's the most important mantra to chant before we chant Hare Krishna? It's imperative that we chant it before we chant Hare Krishna. Correct. So let's try. And then we'll chant for a while, and then after about 15 minutes, we'll take a short time to reflect and see how we're doing, okay? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Why? Did you do it? No. No determination, no terminus. So with chanting also, we have a terminus. This is kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. Meaning you have to have a sadhana. That means that you have to know what is the end. When are we going to, when am I finished? And if you finish in the vidhi, sadhana means that you were determined. So we talked also about the practical way of remembering that we're practicing because we have to fly solo. Prabhupada says. When you're learning to fly, you'll have to fly solo at a certain time. So remember that it's up to us. And so Prabhupada talks about the practice of chanting, and he says, practice calling out like a baby for its mother. Remember that we're helpless and we need help. And also Prabhupada mentions, please accept me. That I'm chanting in a way, please, Krishna, please accept me and please engage me in your service. So these are practices of the heart, that if I'm chanting with this sense of crying out to Krishna, this is the real practice. This is the core of the practice of chanting Hare Krishna, that I'm begging for service or I'm asking Krishna to please save me. I have a few more practical points, but I'm going to save them for the next short break. But for now, let's hear any thoughts or realizations you have about what Prabhupada said or what we've discussed so far. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I really like the analogy of the thing you were saying about flying solo. And when I was chanting, I was thinking about how the holy names are kind of like the fuel for the plane. And then the attention is kind of like the steering. And I noticed when I was like thinking too much or, focusing too much on what's going to happen in the future, what I'm going to do, what the things I have to do, I was like imagining the plane like going down and crashing. And then when I started paying attention, it's like, when you watch those action movies, like the people, it's like really intense. He's like pulling really hard, pulling the plane to steer the plane back up. So I was thinking of it in that way. I just wanted to reflect on that and appreciate that point.
Thank you. You're really absorbed. It's nice. Also, it brings up another point, is we're always fighting gravity. You can notice it in your physical body. As you start to get older, this starts to happen. Why? Because gravity is always like, okay, get down, and it's like, if you give into it, if you don't practice sitting up straight, if you don't practice your posture, you get tech neck, and then you get rounded shoulders, and then you're like, you have to walk around. You may have to anyway, but that gravity is pushing us down. And similarly, this resistance is, you should know that every day we get up in the morning early, and then resistance is there, like, maybe not. Or let's chant now. It's like, maybe internet first. This is resistance, and this is the gravity, and you have to push against it. You have to have a practice where you're keeping your posture in devotional service. Okay, a few more reflections, Prabhu.
I really liked the comparison with a professional. I never thought about it, but I think it's very practical also, that approach of coming in time at the place and doing your thing which you vowed and finish it, and then that's the sadhana. That's how you show, as you said, to Krishna your love. This is it. I'm offering it, and I'm regular, and I'm coming. I'm here again, and He will reciprocate.
And if anybody asks you, like, why are you being so strict or fanatical, you just say, sorry, I went pro. I have to do it. I went pro. Okay, a few more reflections. Yes. Well, we got 2 mics now. Making improvements every day.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please
Hare
accept
Krishna.
my Dandavat pranams. For me, the one which...
Can't hear that.
Hello, Hare
Yeah, there
Krishna,
you go.
Prabhuji. Please accept my Dandavat pranams. For me, the thing which really hit me is the determination, which you said, the terminus part. Usually, I'm talking about my thing. Whenever you start with full determination, but then you don't finish it through. You tend to end up somewhere in the middle, and somewhere the concentration goes off, So I like the fact that you said that the terminus part, that is really, you have to finish the job, you have to complete the job, and then only you can say that you've done it. And that really hit me most. Really.
Yeah. And when you're running a race Everybody knows that you don't stop at the finish line either. You have to run. They hold this ribbon across the lanes, right? And you're looking 10 yards past it. So you break that line, but you just keep going because you don't want to like slow down right before it. There's plenty of things on YouTube about the guy who slows down and all of a sudden somebody passes him at the last second. So Maya's like that too. Any little crack, she'll sneak right in. It's like, whoops, missed it that time by this much. A couple more. Yes, 1, 2.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. I like the fact when you said about effort, and today I put that effort in chanting loudly and trying to hear the entire 16 syllabus words as such, and that is something which I'm going to take away at this end. So that is something, effort and determination, but something like effort is something which I put today in my chanting.
Thank you. Someone look up the word effort in the etymological dictionary, and your turn. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I think continuing on the point of determination, the impressions are so deep. I find that the thoughts keep bubbling up to the forefront of my mind, and I find that often I take enjoyment in thinking of those thoughts.
Take enjoyment in what?
Taking enjoyment of thinking of those thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, I guess you have to be really determined to rein that in and realize when you're doing that and not give it that attention. So, yeah.
Yeah, a good mantra for that is just for now. You can, denying thoughts and desires is very difficult, but if you delay them, there's a saying in the legal system that justice delayed is justice denied. So as far as the senses go, just think about delaying. Like Haridas Thakur did it when the prostitute came and he said, in a while, let me finish my rounds first. So whenever these samskars come up and you go like, no problem, you guys, you're fine, everything's good, I just can't do it right now. So we call this tender, loving neglect. And that works for desires and urges. The urge comes and he goes, yeah, I recognize you, I honor you, but later. And later never comes. It's the same thing you do with your taxes. It's not illegal, but it's actually the way that accountants work. They delay and delay and delay until you're old, you don't have any income anymore, and then it's like you pay a much smaller price. So everything delay when it comes to material desires and all those samskars. And with the sadhana, kriti sadhya bhavat sadhya, everything's finish it now today. That's the first priority. Thank you. That was really helpful. Any last points? Effort. Yes, let's hear about effort from the etymological dictionary so we know what we're talking about.
So, effort, definition, laborious attempt, strenuous exertion. And we have the Latin roots here, ex, which means out, and fortis, which means strong. And we have also a few more synonyms here. Strong, mighty, firm, steadfast, brave, brave-spirited.
Helpful, isn't it? To know what it is, to give effort to something. It's really to be strong and fortify yourself with that great strength. Thank you. Read that, laborious, the first two definitions.
Laborious attempt, strenuous exertion.
Strenuous exertion. So feel free to exert yourself strenuously when chanting japa. Shall we try again? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. May I interject for a moment? Okay. So Prabhupada said, the Acharya, the Guru, and the Shastra can give us hints for advancing in spiritual life, but we have to do the work. This goes to determination and effort. I'll read it again. Prabhupada says, Acharya, Guru, and Shastra can give us hints for advancing in spiritual life, but we have to do the work. Prabhupada denies the idea of an electrical current coming from a guru and said, now you're enlightened, now I'm depleted. But it's honest to goodness, sincere effort and determination on our part. So remembering that this is my effort I'm putting in. I decide how to use my life energy. And making a wise decision to make Japa the foundational aspect of my life is, according to Rupa Goswami, Aimukta Kaleru Paschimanam, that all the smartest people, the most advanced people do this. So if we can join their ranks, then we're doing pretty well. Everything else will fall into place. And I'm going to read Prabhupada's quote again. For our consideration, he says, regarding your last question about the ecstatic symptoms of chanting Hare Krishna, you should know that the Hare Krishna mantra has an equal effect upon all devotees. Just like the sunshine has an equal effect on everyone, but when it is covered, the sunshine has a different effect. Similarly, the influence of the Hare Krishna mantra becomes manifest when one is no longer covered by the 10 offenses to chanting. The more we become free from the 10 offenses, the more the effect of chanting becomes manifested through us. Everyone can become a great devotee, being freed from the offenses 100% simply by one's determination and effort. And I'll make one more point about determination and effort. And that is to be careful about the Dhritarashtra syndrome. Dhritarashtra, everyone knows? Well, when Akura went to talk to him on behalf of Krishna, to try to get him to call off the war, call off his sons, call off Duryodhana especially. It was an impassioned speech that Akura made about what is right and what is wrong. And after he finished his talk, Dhritarashtra said, your words are glorious. They couldn't be better. And they're all true. But I'm not going to do it. He said, I'm too weak. I can't abide your words. And this is called the Dhritarashtra syndrome. And it also morphs into an idea that I can't rise. I am the way I am. That's the way it is. I can't get any better. This is denied by the Vedanta Sutra, which says that the Shastra is speaking to each one of us individually and saying, yes, you can rise. And Vyasadeva says, otherwise the Shastra has no meaning. Because if it wasn't talking to us and saying, listen, little jiva, you can rise in due course of time by following this practice, then who's it talking to? And if it's talking to us, it means that we have the potentiality that we can rise in due course of time. Prakritya, hridaya, sadyataha. There's potentiality in the practice of devotional service and also in ourselves. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says every jiva can rise in due course of time. We cannot claim permanent incompetence. It's illegal. You can't do that. You'll be arrested. So now let's take a few reflections or questions about determination and effort. And anything else Prabhupada said, we didn't address the first part that he said. It's like sunshine, everyone has equal access. But if you go in your room and close all the windows, then you're not going to get your vitamin D. Mahendra Prabhu.
What is said about delaying, comparing it with determination, and it's procrastination by definition is something bad usually, but there are some who say, well, there are good type of procrastination, so this type we cannot procrastinate our japa. We have to do it with determination like pros, but the thoughts and whatever else is on the way, we can say, I can take care of later. Later, I'll definitely do it, but not now. This one I liked very much. And I have a question on the point you made now that we can rise, but also we hear from Prabhupada many times that second nature, habit is second nature, and it's very difficult to overcome it. Even I remember he answered a letter to a devotee who said how to deal with lust, and I'll be able to conquer it or something like that. And Prabhupada said, not in this body, because you're born with this body. Maybe the context is like that it will come to this. But yeah, Prabhupada said, but if you follow the principles, you will not succumb to it, but still it will come.
Tada rajastamo bhava kamalupadeyaschaye cheta iteranavidam stitam sattve prasidati. Tada, at that time, the Bhagavatam says that by hearing, the modes of passion and ignorance diminish, and Prabhupada says you'll come to this point where you feel that the pinching of material nature is not so strong. And even though everyone has their own nature, we can definitely improve over time, even to the point where, as Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, Apuriyamana machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti sadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve yat kam. Sorry. Tavat karma apuriyamana machala pratishtam. He's comparing us, the mind, to like an ocean. And then the rivers are flowing into it, but then the person who's feeling some satisfaction is not disturbed, doesn't change because of those desires that come in. So even we have our nature and we have a predisposition to certain kinds of
Reality. The Shastras are speaking, and they're speaking because it's possible if you follow the process and if you make that determination and effort. So that really helped.
No one can claim to be permanently unqualified. As Lord Chaitanya says, by chanting Hare Krishna, you rise from being a Kanishta Adhikari to being an Uttama Adhikari. And if I deny my ability to rise to that level, then I'm denying the power of the holy name. Which is more powerful, the modes of material nature that I'm infected with, or the holy name? So if we're depending on the power of the holy name, and we understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, krame krame, step by step. If you show up with your lunchbox and do your work, and kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya, bhavasa saranavida. This is called practice in bhakti, and the potentiality is there. Everybody can rise in due course of time. This is important. Like any discipline, say in language, the reason babies learn language so far is they don't limit themselves. They just try everything to try to communicate, and they don't hold back. As adults, we try a language and we think, oh, I can't learn a language. And not with an attitude like that, you can't. And, we don't take risks, we don't try for it. So you have to have that confidence that you can rise it's required to know that we can. At the same time, we have to start at the level where we are now and do the best we can with what we have, and then be patient, because in due course of time, everyone can rise. Last points? Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. I think one of the points that I like was we got determination, effort, and then preparation to do the task. For example, if I have to wake up early to do Japa, then I have to go to bed early. If I don't go to bed early, then I'm not going to wake up, and then my effort that I'm putting is not going to be 100%. So maybe I'll do a few rounds, and I feel like I want to go to bed again. So, although determination there to wake up early, but then I'm not putting the 100% effort. So I think the preparation before that is important, because if I want to go to Mangla, then I have to go to bed early. So just want to sort of add to it.
There's a really important point. Going pro means you take responsibility. So we're not the same person in the morning we were at the night before, if you've ever noticed that. You got some idea, head full of steam at night, you wake up in the morning and like, who am I again? Why am I doing this? So there's a legal implement when you're in sound mind. That's, you sign the document saying, I'm giving my wealth to this person, and I'm of sound mind right now. Sound mind and body. I know what I'm doing. So when you find yourself in sound mind and you know what you're doing, you have clarity, do everything you can to prepare for when you're not in the sound mind, because you can anticipate that resistance is going to come to you. And when you are ready for it, then prepare everything. So one trick that I do that helps me help myself, I get my environment ready at night. Before I go to bed, I make sure everything's lined up. And I'll put the books that I'm going to read, my Japa beads, folded nicely on top. Any kind of things that I'm going to do in the morning, there are a few points, they're written there. So when I wake up, it's automatic. And I just do what the good side of me said to do the night before. And when the resistance side comes in, it's like, after I finish my script, then I'll attend to you. And by that time, you already have momentum. So very good point. You have to be a little crafty to stay in that professional mode. Otherwise, you lose time and effort in this lifetime. And it's a lamentable prospect to lose even one day. Well, we tried again, right? We all showed up. We did our due, and we did the right thing, so it feels good, right? And we heard Prabhupada's words, got a little direction. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Gaura-Nitai, if you so desire, please empower us all to chant your holy names every day, or finish our prescribed number of rounds, no matter what else is happening in the world or in our lives. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone who agrees with this prayer in whole or in part, please say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please pick up your packed break.